I've got a good aim. There you go.
And my documentary is about youth development in football and the reasons why there's a lack of youth development. I'm going to explore what the facts are, why there's a lack of youth development in football. Is it down to opportunity, or is it down to ability of the actual players? Topic is youth development in football and decrease in talent and the reasons for it. USP is that all the documentaries I researched all look at the negative points rather than the positive, so I'm not going to let my personal opinions get in the way and actually broadcast both sides of the story. The angle I'll take is a very modest one and unbiased and present both negatives and positives. I'm going to explore the negatives, positives, and the Premier League having foreign players and the reasons for it. Is it because of the actual ability, or is it because of inflated prices for actual youth players? So it's a lot cheaper to go buy players from other European countries. I'm going to compare the English system to the Spanish and German system, because as we also England were very bad in the World Cup, and Spain and Germany were actually really good. And all the Spanish team, all the players in the Spanish team were actually playing for the top teams in Spain. And England, the top four of England actually produced about an estimate 10 players in the whole squad. And the German team was also very young and did very well. And how they redeveloped their youth system after Euro 2000 in Belgium. I'm going to investigate ways to solve the problem, i.e. 25-man squad that was introduced this season, and other ways the way Italy adopted by having, in Italy and Spain, they have a system that you can't buy more than 3 non-EU players. So that's another way I'm gonna investigate. Conventions I'll use is sign-on, sign-off, music, voiceover, and one that Miss and Sir know I like the best. So expect a lot of that. Fox pops and cutaways.
Archive footage, though, you gotta say it.
It's
right?
archive. Make sure you remember that. Don't use the proper term, please.
Brief segments. Presenter will be outside Upton Park football ground, the home of West Ham, who are known for producing a lot of young players, i.e. most of the whole 1966 World Cup team, and England's captain now, Rio Ferdinand. I'm going to have vox pops outside Upton Park, Wembley, Emirates Stadium, and Leyton Orient Stadium. And there's a caption of a fan. I'm going to interview youth coaches such as Stuart Pearce and other youth coaches like Man City youth coach that's located in London, Paul Clark, and other youth coaches. Steve Thompson from Dagenham Rugby is the managing director, person I know, and I'm going to be interviewing him as well. And they've actually signed a lot of youth players this season. One interview will be Connor Arcus, who used to go to this school, who plays for Dagenham Rugby at the moment, and he's been loaned out to other teams. He was a highly rated young player, and I'm going to ask him what problems he faced, and was there a lack of opportunity for him, and how he overcame it, and advice that he can give. Profile of the audiences, interested in sports, socialising, TV, ethnicity will be aimed at all ethnic groups. Will be 16 to 24, located in the UK, males and females, and employment education will be full-time education, part-time work, full-time work, and people that play for the actual team. How can I make it more appealing to females? I thought about this and I added questions in my questionnaire and asked them my focus with how can I make it more appealing to females, and these are the answers I got. One person said have a female presenter, a few people said have a woman narrator, female narrator, show a good female football player, which I'm going to do. I'm going to show an interview with a West Ham Academy female player who is actually really good, and an interview with a female manager. ways that I can entertain the audience. I'm gonna have I've thought about a lot of ways I can entertain the audience, and some of the ways are like having a game show, which was like Gervais Lynch last year's one showed Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game show, so I might use that as well. Facts and figures. The president of Spain's La Liga said that the reason for England's failings are because of their youth systems not properly structured and there's not enough talent being produced. Another fact I got is that when the Premier League started in 1992 and 1993, there were only 11 players which were foreign in the starting lineups of all 20 teams. And now there's actually under 40% of the whole Premier League players are actually English players. So that's another fact I'll be looking at.
Is that true?
Yeah, I got it off Wikipedia.
The second one, that amazes me. Sorry.
And that's what I'll be discussing with experts as well. A focus group, it was primary research. It was to see what the audience thought about my idea, and it was to examine the audience and the content, see what they thought about the actual content and if it was appealing to them, and how feasible the idea was, so how easy it would be to produce and to get contacts. My question was also primary. It was to examine the audience this time. It was to see how it appealed to the audience and what they thought about the idea. And textual analysis was secondary, is to examine the content and see how in this I actually looked at two different pieces and saw like what were the negatives and the positives, and to see what the actual audience thought about the idea. Technical viability, these are like some of the equipments I'll use. These are what I'll use them for. DV camera to record footage, tripod to keep the camera steady, monopod I'll use it in like where there's crowded places, headphones to hear, boom mic to enhance sound, tapes to actually capture the footage on, and dolly to move the camera around when I need to. Technical viability, these are the stuff I use in post-production, iMovie to edit, is editing software, DV camera to import on, iMac is the actual hardware, headphones, and Samsung microphone to record voiceovers and stuff. Crew, present I haven't chosen yet. The cameraman will be me, and I'll edit to my own work. Present I was thinking of having either a female or male presenter or actual both. Practical viability, these are the main two people I'm going to interview. These are the two people I've actually got at the moment to interview. I spoke with Connor and I spoke with Steve Thompson as well. These are some of the locations I'll go to: Upton Park, Wembley, Emirates, Dagenham River Stadium, and the actual studio is the places I'll film. BBC editorial guidelines. There was a set of regulations which I had to follow and that asked for specific stuff. These are some of the key points: impartiality and diverse of opinion. The negatives of that was it will stop me from being biased. The positives would be I will explain both sides, positives and negatives, so everyone can watch it. Defamation, make sure that I don't misquote any facts. And the positives is every fact in my documentary will be real and will be reliable.
Okay.